down memory lane of the creation of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, as in the year 1976, when Federal Ministry of Water Resources was first created by the federal government to formulate Nigeria's water resources development policies and coordinate their implementation, came with the establishment of 12 River Basin Development Authorities (RBDAs), in which Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority is one of them. The River Basins Development Authority was established by Decree No. 25 of 1976. The River Basin Development Authorities was established with the aim of developing the water resources potential of the country for agricultural, domestic, and industrial uses. The River Basin Development Authorities are involved in the maintenance of the various watersheds that they cover in Nigeria. The functions of the River Basin Development Authorities in this regard is the construction of dams, dikes, polders, drilling of boreholes, developments of irrigation infrastructure, erosion and flood control. In the process of time, some of these functions of the authority have changed. There are mainly those who are directly connected with agricultural production and control of environmental damages occasioned by floods and desertification. 1. To improve the performance of the River Basin Development Authorities, some concrete steps were taken, such as developments of a blueprint and action plan to revitalize the River Basin Development Authorities. Restructuring of the management of the River Basin Development Authorities to enhance their professional delivery of service in line with the repositioning mandate. Restoration of the agricultural extension services. Adoption of the concepts of Songhai Integrated Agricultural Practice to boost agricultural production and achieve integrated rural development. Establishment of the Graduate Youth Farmers Empowerment Scheme in 2016 that has so far trained a large number of youths. The Honorable Minister of Water Resources elucidates further on the work of the ministry under his watch since 2015 in relation to the improvements he has brought onto say the revitalization of the River Basin Development Authorities.
In the 1990, 30% of the Nigerian population was enjoying pipe-borne water, but by 2050 it had dropped to 7%. So we're retrogressing, and therefore there had to be a new focus for the sector. And in that regard, 2 weeks into coming into office, I organized a retreat, invited major stakeholders in the water sector to chart a way forward. And we came up with what we call the Water Sector Roadmap 2016 to 2030. We came up with a 15-year program to revitalize the water resources sector. And that's what we'll be working on. It involves quite a lot of things, instituting all the necessary policies and legal frameworks and legislation to move the sector forward, prioritizing and completing all the strategic and important projects that we thought would have no major impact on the people that we are working on, revitalizing the River Basin Development Authorities, developing a new program for irrigation, where we have now a 15-year national irrigation program. We also decided to, as a matter of strategy, find alternative ways of funding water resources projects.
In this episode, extensive exposition of the Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority will be done. The Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority has its headquarters located at Kilometer 10, Makodi-Otukpo Road, Makodi, Benue State. The Managing Director of the authority, Engineer Mohammed O. Adra, Fellow, Nigerian Society of Engineers, assumed his first tenure in office on 5th January 2017, and since then, the management of the authority under him has been able to record milestones despite many challenges.
From 2015, to date, we're able to complete about 6 dams, which is key to our function. That is about 6 dams. Most of them are multi-purpose, but 2 main purpose, drinking and irrigation. We wanted to bring in hydro in one, but we started, but we're having some challenges because of this coronavirus. We are doing collaboration with UNIDO. Chinese are UNIDO's consultants. Coronavirus stopped them from coming. So we got some little setback there, but surely we will achieve it. So that in that case, we will have also achieved small hydro power, and that will help us to use it for basic energy, for in pumping, in rice mill and the rest of it. So that is what for dam in this period we complete 6, and we have them in Mobuji, in Jidadi, Bashar, and a number of them. But we have 6 listed now for borehole. They are uncountable. But I know we sank boreholes for water supply, and even we use some borehole for drip irrigation, for small scale drip irrigation. We use some. There are over 1,700 boreholes sank between 2015 to date, more than that. There are small challenges, but that is done. And then irrigation, as I mentioned earlier, they were there, but they needed reactivation, which we are making a lot of effort. Kasnala, Jataka, Jolojebe, Obagaji, Naka. In this Naka and Jolojebe, we are doing dredging. The dam got silted up, so we are dredging it, bringing more water to make the irrigation more effective. And then we have entered into agreement, partly with state government, with Central Bank coming in to make. I mentioned Doma Dam. It's the biggest dam we have there. This aquaculture thing. The officials of Central Bank came, went to site with Ministry of Agri, collaborating with state government. We have got a package, a plan now to make aquaculture a definite strong activity at the Doma Dam. We also contacted this Institute of Freshwater Fishery. They came once, but they are coming back to do some investigation to give us good and clear plan on how to make the aquaculture we are proposing very effective and useful.
Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority, like other river basin development authorities, is concerned mainly with the development of the nation's water potential and watershed management to boost agricultural production. The authority's catchment area or scope of operation covers Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa State, and eastern parts of Kogi State. Specifically, the basin's area of operation covers together 10 senatorial districts, 3 each in Benue, Plateau and Nasarawa states, and 1 from Kogi State, east of the river Niger. It has 21 farm projects across the catchment states. The vision of the Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority is to provide sustainable access to safe and sufficient water resources to meet the agricultural and socio-economic development needs of the people in its catchment area, and other various uses in ways that contribute to public health, poverty eradication, enhanced food security, while at the same time maintaining the integrity of freshwater ecosystem of its catchment area.
We have a vision guiding us in our operation, and of course a mission. Primarily, the river basin, like my other 11 sisters, we are really to see how best and effective to develop the water resources to meet the multipurpose needs of all those within our catchment area. These ones, we have two types of water resources. We have surface and groundwater. The mission is to how to capture the water resources to make it useful for so many purposes, and to do that, we can do so through building of dams, building of holders, dikes, and we can exploit the groundwater through, of course, extraction, that is boreholes, and the rest of it. Now, what goes immediately next to this is creation or construction of what we call agriculture infrastructure or irrigation infrastructure to go hand in hand. The development, as I've said, I mentioned multipurpose. This development of water resources could be meant for water supply, the domestic water supply, for public use, for agricultural purposes, for industrial purposes, and some other things. Now, as I mentioned, what comes quickly now in our particular mandate, what comes quickly is this irrigation infrastructure should come very quickly for the purpose of making most of water that we develop for agricultural purposes. So the vision precisely has to do with planning, prospecting, developing, operating, and managing to the best of our ability the water resources at our disposal.
In consonance with the already instituted water sector roadmap, the mission of Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority focuses on planning, conserving, developing, managing and delivering both surface and groundwater resources and allied services to all Nigerians in the catchment states of Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa and Kogi, east of the Niger.
From the roadmap that was prepared to last from 2016 to 2030 or so, there was a particular assignment given to River Basin to develop particular size of farmland. For that reason, we did some analysis and see what we can do within our resources. Then we allocated that. We proposed that for every year, we'll try and clear a minimum of 500 hectares. Of course, there are problems, but that was what we budgeted to achieve. Because if there isn't farmland, what we are providing wouldn't be complete. Farmland is very key to our mandate. So to be a useful participant in achieving that aspiration of government to take away 100 million within 10 years is to forcefully, deliberately, particularly emphasize on this development of farmland and make the provision, make it possible to get it, to make it cultivated, so that all the stages of employment in the complete agriculture is achieved, right from the land development to the planting, to the weeding, to the harvesting. All of them have every aspect of employment. So we make it as a responsibility to see that enough adequate land is made available, and then water is also made to accompany it to make the irrigation very possible, so that farming will be complete and effective.
The very significant milestones recorded by Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority under present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari from 2015 till date are included: provision of water. 1. 10 earth dams and 2 mini water schemes have been fully completed from 2015 to date across various locations within the authority's catchment area. 2. Constructed over 1,400 motorized boreholes with overhead tanks and hand pump across several communities within the authority's catchment area.
This solar power borehole, in fact, we really appreciate it. We are enjoying it. Before we are suffering of water in this axis, but with the coming of this lower Benue Basin borehole, this thing, in fact, we are really happy and we are enjoying the water. We are getting our 24 hours. The water is coming anytime.
We are having a problem of water because we have a well at the back there, but during dry season, the well will dry off. We'll have to wait, lock it, avoid, as you can see, we have neighbors around. We have to struggle to lock the well. At times in the morning, we will find out that they have broke the padlock. We'll have no water, we'll have to wait again. Fortunately enough, this borehole was constructed. I'm very, very happy. We are so grateful for this effort. We thank you very much because we are happy now. In fact, even this issue of corona, our patients now wash their hands. Even without you telling them, by seeing the pipe, you tell them, go and wash your hand. They wash their hands with no problem.
In the area of economic diversification, the authority has achieved a lot of milestones, such as massive land clearing in line with President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government deliberate efforts at economic diversification, with particular regard to its policy direction in agriculture. The authority has cleared 1,170 hectares of land across its farm projects ready for aggressive agricultural production. 2. Construction of Shanghai Integrated Farm Model projects in Makurdi and Doma. In this regard, work has been completed and production is on in commercial quantities at the pilot scheme of the Integrated Shanghai Model Farm located within the authority's colony at the headquarters in Makurdi, Benue State, while work on the main scheme at Doma, Nasarawa State is ongoing. 3. Completion of 4 greenhouses, 2 each at Kefi and Ofurachi in Nasarawa and Kogi State, and production is currently ongoing in these locations. 4. The authority management under Engineer Adra is vigorously working to boost the authority's internally generated revenue in order to overcome the current economic situation. To this end, a rice milling factory project has been embarked upon and work is ongoing and near completion. A water factory project has also been embarked upon and work is in progress. As part of the authority's contribution to the federal government efforts at lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years, the authority through the Graduate Youth Empowerment Program graduated 10 graduate trainees in 2020, while 20 are currently undergoing training and will soon be graduated. With the starter packs given after graduation, some of the graduated trainees have set up their private businesses and are thriving.
A very big thank you to them for putting me through this, for letting me participate in that program and giving me this opportunity to be who I am today. Because if not for that program, I think I'll still be roaming the streets or I won't know what to do next. So I'm so grateful to them. I appreciate them and I appreciate the federal government that brought the initiative. The Honorable Minister of Water Resources, they said this is some personal pet project. A very big thank you to him for this because I'm grateful.
We as an agriculturist, we have been taught many aspects of farm activity in our various academy endeavor, but to come out with the practical aspect of it like this had not been easy for our very institution, but with the help of Songhai, I can see the Songhai have brought the agriculture to us directly, the graduate farmer. I attend the Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority, I attend the Songhai, and also I thank God for make it peaceful and productive.
Upon the graduation, I was given some starter pack to go off the street, and I've utilized the Tata Park to venture into fish farming. I've done the first phase of the fish, which I harvested then last year, December, and this is just the second aspect of it, the second phase of it. And I have 2 ponds here. This one contains about 1,500 fishes, while the first one there contains about 1,000 fish. If you put all together, it's about 2,000 fish altogether. So I choose fish because we were trained in different aspects in the farm there. We were trained in cropping, agroforestry, poultry, and fishery. So I decided to choose fishery because I discovered that there is heavy market in fish making business. That is why I choose fish to be as one of my best business to do.
The MD, Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority, speaks further about the achievements of his agency.
It is not just enough to provide what I've said. We have collaborated with a number of organizations. State government is part of it, some private firms are part of it, and some private firms are part of it to bring in what we and them call empowerment. Last year, we collaborated with national state government, and we, out of their need, allocated 500 hectares to them. And from that allocation, they were able to pull out about 430 graduates from the street. Each of them was allocated 1 hectare. So they were, from that allocation, the resources were pooled by the assistance of government, them, and they're on their farm, on our farm right now. Every year, this is the second year now, everyone has a hectare. He manages it, he cultivates and manages everything there. So 470 youth were pulled out at a go from the street, and that's part of achieving that aspect. It is the objective of Lower Benue to see that we serve all of the communities within our catchment area. Within our 4 catchment states of Plateau, Nasarawa, Benue, and the larger part of Kogi, the best of our knowledge by making this provision of resources available to them in the most efficient, effective manner.
It is noteworthy that this agency has significantly touched the lives of many, and also the issue of the pandemic, which affected all sectors, slowed down the authorities' operations. Nonetheless, the aspiration to progress on the revitalization and repositioning of the Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority, as enunciated in the Water Resources Sector Roadmap by the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Husseini Adamu, will continue to be the impetus for the basin to serve as an enabler, operators and managers of water resources infrastructure to improve the socio-economic well-being of the grassroots population of the country.